Search. Good day, BEd researchers. At this stage of your action research, I will assume that most of you have already completed your intervention and are now preparing for your presentation of findings. However, before we focus on presenting your data, it is very important that you revisit the entire process of your study. This is because a strong presentation of findings does not only show results, but it also shows a clear understanding of everything that happened before those results were obtained. So in this lecture, I'll guide you through the process again while helping you prepare for the chapter presentation and of course your oral defense. Let us begin by going back to your intervention. So all of you have done this. Okay? It wouldn't be an action research if intervention is not part of the process. So let's begin by going back to your intervention. All your findings will only make sense if you clearly remember what you actually did inside the classroom. Your intervention is the strategy or the method you applied to solve the identified problem. Diba? You identified a problem, you conducted interview, some of you went to observe class, and look into the problem that the teachers encounter every day in their classes. So once you spotted the problem, you came up also with intervention or a strategy to solve that problem. Okay? Now, for example, if your study focuses on improving reading comprehension through guided reading, then your intervention includes all the guided reading sessions that you conducted. Okay? This means you followed your plan, you implemented your plan, no? You implemented your activities, and also you applied your strategy consistently over a specific period of time. So that's why this action research, I've been telling you that the minimum of this would be 4 weeks. So it can't be done in just a week, no? It won't be that successful, or it won't be that reliable if you only did it for a week. This is very important because when you present your findings, panelists may ask how your results are connected to your intervention. And of course, you have to be able to explain what you did, how often you did it, and how long you implemented it. Because the process is very important in your case. Now, after implementing your intervention, the next step was data collection. Okay, you did not simply observe casually, right? You gathered data, and when you did it systematically. When you gather data, you gather data systematically. Now, there are two types of data in action research. We have the quantitative data, which includes what? Measurable results such as pretest, post-test scores, no? And we also have the qualitative data, which includes observations, pupils' outputs, and participation. So these two types are equally important because they provide complete picture of what truly transpired or what truly happened in your classroom. Quantitative data shows measurable improvement, while, quantitative data shows measurable improvement, while qualitative data explains how and why that improvement happened. Now, as future teachers, it is important that you understand that good research is not only based on assumptions. It is based on evidence. Now, after implementing your intervention, the next step was you collected your data. No? You collected your data. You didn't simply observe I'm so sorry about it. After that, you analyze your data analysis. Am I correct? Okay. So in the data analysis, what did you do? You compute the mean gain, no? If you are following the quantitative. But if you are, if you do it in a qualitative way, then you try to identify patterns of their responses or of their actions, whatever it is that was observable. And then you also try your best to explain improvement. Okay? So now we go to the most important part of your study. For now, this is the most important because this is the topic that I'm going to really discuss. I did not say that all the previous things that I discussed are not important because those are very important. Without them, you won't be able to present your findings. But as they say, findings is also the heart, of your study. But then again, we have to always remember that the previous steps are also very important and that you have to systematically do them well. Otherwise, you won't come up with a good presentation of your findings. Okay? So this is where you answer in the presentation of findings. This is where you answer the question and you try to determine or you answer questions like, did your intervention work? Okay? Did your intervention work? To present your findings effectively, you must follow a clear and structured flow. So first, okay, here's the flow. You present your data. Okay, second, you interpret the result. Third, you explain what the result means. Fourth, you state the implication. Fifth, you connect the result to teaching practice. And finally, support your findings using related studies or related literature. So here's an example. You may say in your presentation, after presenting the data, you'll say, the results show that pupils' reading comprehension scores increased after the guided reading intervention. This means that pupils were able to better understand the text after being exposed to guided reading activities. So the next step now is, this implies that structured and guided instruction is effective in improving comprehension. So it further suggests that teachers, so this is now the implication, it further suggests that teachers may incorporate guided reading strategies in their daily lessons. And your citation, you cite it from from literature review. This finding is supported by De La Cruz 2021, who found that guided reading improves comprehension skills among learners. A presentation like this, shows that you are not only reporting data, but you're also interpreting and understanding your results. Now, after presenting your findings, you must also reflect on your study. Reflection is part of your research. This is an essential part of the action research because it shows your growth as a teacher. In your reflection, you should discuss what worked, what did not work, and what challenges you encountered. Okay? So what learning also did you have after having conducted that study? For example, you may say that the intervention improved comprehension, but some pupils still struggle due to limited vocabulary. This suggests that vocabulary instruction should also be included in future implementations. Okay, so it's part of your reflection now. You talked about what worked, it worked, but there was a challenge that they have limited vocabulary, but you also have suggested something in the future. So reflection here is not about showing perfection, but reflection is about showing awareness, and it's also showing improvement. Now we proceed with conclusions. You summarize what your findings mean overall. Okay? So you summarize what your findings mean overall, and of course, you present your conclusions. Conclusions give the summary and the meaning of your findings. Again, conclusions summarize the meaning of your findings. If findings describe what happened, conclusions explain what it means overall. For example, you may conclude that the guided reading intervention improved pupils' reading comprehension and increased their participation. Your conclusions must be based on your findings and should not introduce new data. Okay? So you provide suggestions all the time, no, based on your conclusions. Again, you provide suggestions based on your conclusions. So based on your conclusions, you will then provide what we call recommendations. What are recommendations? Recommendations are the actions that you suggest based on your study. What includes here? These may include suggestions for teachers, suggestions for school. Mura siya pareho sa katong recommendations sa regular research, no? And even for future researchers. So for example, you may recommend you may recommend that teachers should use guided reading strategies, that schools support reading programs, and that the future researchers will also explore similar interventions, no? So your recommendations must be practical, must be realistic, and clearly based on your findings. Okay, so dissemination and utilization. This, you have to always remember, even katong mga daily action research, as long as it is a research, then you have to share it. You have to utilize it or you have to disseminate it. Otherwise, your research will just go nowhere. Diba? They would always say, publish or perish. Diba? So research should be shared and used to improve teaching. Another important part, no, this is also one of the important parts, no, that's dissemination and utilization. So if you say dissemination, it refers to sharing your research findings with others. You can join forum, you can do it through presentations, no, reports, or even joining conferences. And if you talk about utilization, it refers to applying your findings in actual teaching practice. This is important because action research is meant to solve real classroom problems and, of course, to improve instruction. Now, let's go to the work plan. Your study followed a structured plan to stay organized. Okay? So, we always try our best to follow a structured plan. Often, especially in action research, it's presented through a Gantt chart or timeline. So, in the Gantt chart, what is included? The phases of the pre-implementation, implementation, and the post-implementation. Okay, always remember this. If you have a clear plan, no, it definitely ensures that your research is organized and that it will finish on time. Ethics. So ethics, the most controversial ethics. All right. So many of you probably are working on your ethics review as of now. And you have to know that ethics takes a while. It takes like two weeks. But before the 2 weeks, you will still have to spend a lot of time revising, editing your work, because the research office won't clear you for ethics review if your paper is not deemed considered a quality one. So always protect your learners. That's if you're a real teacher. Now, if you're a researcher, still, you have to protect your participants, especially in handling data. You have to handle data ethically. So as future researchers, as future teachers, you must always observe ethical standards. The participation or the participation of the pupils must be voluntary, and that their identities must not be revealed. It should be kept confidential, and all the data that you are going to gather must only be used or must be used responsibly and must only be for academic purposes. Okay, so the final the final summary. Remember the full process flow for your defense. This is the full process for your defense to help you remember the process. Of course, you should not forget the previews in the proposal hearing. But this one is for the second part. So remember this full process. You follow the sequence, intervention, data collection, data analysis, findings, reflection, conclusion, and action. So you will not just be presenting data. Always remember that. But your journey as a teacher, you're also presenting your journey as a teacher and as a researcher. So as you prepare for the presentation of your findings, you are not, always put this in mind, you are not just presenting the numbers. You are presenting your experience as a teacher who identified the problem, applied a solution, and reflected on the result. You have done all of those things. Do not just simply read your paper when you present your oral, when you do the oral presentation. Explain your study with understanding and with confidence. Because at the end of the day, action research is not just a requirement. It is not just a requirement, but it is a tool that will help you become a better teacher. Okay? Thank you, and I wish you success in your presentation. Bye, everybody.